Estoy lista.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Wonky Power Live sessions. Tonight we have a very special guest, Sugar Joiko. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Thanks
awesome.
for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. We're super excited to have you and in the studios, and we've been very excited for a while. Thank you so much. And everybody that's watching, you guys can comment on the chat, and if you have any questions when we get to the interview segment, we can ask Joy any questions that you might have. But yeah, and then right next to our good friend David Garrick with closed caption, and he will be helping us out with the interview segment.
How's it going?
Hola.
You about ready to throw down?
I is.
All right, let's hear it.
What's up, you guys? My name is Sugar Joiko, Sugarjoiko. Thank you, Wonky Power. Shout out to you guys for having us. Today on drums, we have Angel Perez, and I'm very excited to perform some of my favorite tunes with you guys. Starting off the night, I'm going to kick it off with one of my favorite songs. It's called Keep on Dancing. It's a song about going out and loving to dance and some weirdo thinking that you're dancing for him. Ladies, dance for yourself. Let's get it. If you're out in the audience, I love to dance. So if you ever feel moved to get up out your seat, if you're at your house, if you're out there outside, groove with us. Here we go. I don't mind me some blind-eye candy, but I think I like red bones. Please don't mind me if I seem cocky, but I like dancing alone. You can fight, you can hide, you can lie to get by. You're unsteady cause you're too drunk. Leave your friend, she too shy. Let's go ride in Dubai. You'll see anything to take me home. Hey! I just came to party. I'm sorry, not so sorry. It feels like sex on the floor. Well, alright. I move my body so every cool I'm trying to take you home. Hey! Cause you can fight, you can hide, you can lie to get by. Don't you tell me that you're in love. Hey. Leave your friend, she too shy. Let's go ride in Dubai. You'll say anything. Hey. Ooh, I got you feeling alright. I like the way you smile at me when you're high. You can fight, you can hide, you can lie. Unsteady, leave your friend, she too shy. Let's go ride. Oh, 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 oh. I just came to party. I'm sorry, not so sorry, baby. Baby, 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 baby. I move my body so every cool I'm trying to take you home. Yeah, you can fight, you can hide, you can lie to get by. Don't you tell me that you're in. Don't you tell me. Leave your friend. Let's go ride. I'll say anything to take me home. Oh, you're still here? It's okay. I don't mind. I mean, I wouldn't be talking to you if I didn't find you attractive. Oh, you've got jokes. So what makes you think you got what it takes to ride this ride? Oh, I kind of like the sound of that. But just one question. Can you make me scream just like a shot. I'm steady swinging like a hey, hey. No me conoces not today. You want me back, but it's too late. Let's get free. We bringing it back tonight. Ooh, I think that's it. Ow!
This is my first time using this shit.
Thank you guys. That's set number 1. Shout out to Electro Spit. This is my first time actually using this talk box. I hope it sounded cool. I was just making some shit up, but
That was incredible. That was incredible.
oh,
Thank you.
Yeah, that talk box. We were just talking about that earlier. That's an incredible thing that you have there on.
man.
You gotta we gotta try to get that on camera. David, you can go over here.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, headphones right there.
Woo.
Incredible.
Yeah, it sounded great.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm excited. I'm fired up.
Those drums do it.
Oh, hell yeah. Angelito. Killing it.
Can you introduce us who you're playing with?
Absolutely. With me on drums is the incredible Houston Jim, best probably drummer in the whole city, to be frankly honest. Give it up for Angel Perez.
Nice.
He's amazing.
He's definitely holding it down.
Yeah.
Hell
great,
yeah.
Great sound.
Mixing with those keys, that first track, I was like, this got some Prince vibes to it.
That's my goal. I want to be like a female Prince meets Lizzo meets Lady Gaga meets Teddy Riley.
That's a, Teddy
That's
Riley.
it.
That's a name a lot of people don't know unless you know music. That's a good one to throw in.
Facts. I grew up on the good shit.
That's always a good place to start. You're from New Orleans. What
I
brought you to
am.
Houston?
I moved to Houston in 2005. My family actually moved here due to Hurricane Katrina. So, and I'm officially a Houstorlinian.
Right on. Yeah, it's almost like it didn't even hit here.
Yeah. Well, I guess. Never mind. I'm not gonna bring that up.
I boarded up a bunch of windows at my house and my parents' house, risked my life, and it felt like a breeze, and that was it.
Better to be prepared.
For
than
sure, for sure.
Unprepared, for sure.
And I feel for everybody that lost something, but I was just like,
Facts.
this is it, you know?
It'd be like that
ridiculous.
sometimes. You know, the media likes to overhype everything.
It's true.
Everyone run for cover.
It's true. I used to live off Allen Parkway, and they were out in a boat talking about floodwaters, and like a little Ford Festiva drove past them in the water. Like the lowest car with like 12-inch wheels.
Oh,
It's like,
that's great.
okay, man, this is hilarious, you know?
Yeah, you're over
They're in
exaggerating.
a canoe acting like, you know, get your boat out. That you'll be able to power a boat down Allen Parkway or something.
Kayak.
So you produce your own music. Can you explain
Sure.
to people who don't understand the role of the producer, what that essentially means?
I am the beginning and the ending of all of my projects. I like to say that I'm a musician first, singer second. I grew up playing. I've been playing keys since I was maybe 8, producing since I was 13, and I don't know. My heart is in composing, and I kind of got into production because I'm a huge gamer fan. So, video game soundtracks is what kind of influenced me to kind of like think out of the box. I try to, I guess, incorporate like a global sound. I'm not afraid to jump out of the box a little bit. You know, if it comes from the heart, I think it'll reach the heart. So, I just like to have fun and make feel good music for good people.
That works. Yeah. I mean, yeah, someone told me one time, they asked, what's the difference between a beat maker and a producer? And it was like, it was someone famous. It might have been Pharrell. He said, well, a beat maker's like, here's the beat, and a producer's like, here's your record.
Facts.
You know?
Facts. The beat maker makes your beat. The producer can do everybody's job in the room, I think.
Yeah, it's true. A good producer
good
can play all the instruments and mix and even master if you want to go that far with
100%.
it. Yeah, some of my favorite producers, they hand over a mix and it's so good, you're like, why do we need to have this mastered? You know? But finding that person is almost impossible.
Yes, it is. It's very difficult, especially here in Houston. If you're looking for that pop sound,
Right.
you know, Houston's very chop screwed. Got some great country engineers here, but pop is always very difficult, which actually prompted me to become better at mixing myself. So I try to give a good mix to where, yeah, I only have to worry about the mastering part of it.
That's the one thing a lot of people don't understand is that we have a lot of pop come out of here, and I know the people that worked with Destiny's Child and
James Hoover?
James Hoover.
That
Yeah,
is my
absolutely.
engineer.
So you have these people that are known for certain things. When someone says, I want to have a record made, who should I use? Or I want to use this guy, I'll say, well, he don't really make that kind of music. So you need to find somebody that's a little more your lane.
Absolutely.
As a producer, do you find it's hard working with other engineers, or no? You don't. There's no flack.
Yes and no, but I would say no, only because like there's been situations where working with engineers, I obviously didn't get what I was looking for, but it helped me kind of become a better client in explaining what I'm looking for. So I think that I've gotten a lot better with A, terminology, and B, kind of being more specific or better with my references. Like
Sure.
I'll give multiple references, like this track, I like the vocals, mix my vocals like this track's vocals, but this track, mix my drums like this track. But, so I kind of like, I'm able to give better, more precise options. So I think it's kind of a two-way street between
No,
the
it
artist
is.
and engineer. So yeah, I think at least it molded me, my bad experiences.
No, I think everything's a learning experience, so it totally
Absolutely.
makes sense. It's very difficult for people to understand that have never made a record. I always say, when you're making a record, you're trying to do a live performance, that kind of energy, in a room that's as sterile as a dentist's office.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go play a show at a dentist's office, you realize how difficult that is. You want the power of the live show
Facts.
and the emotion, but there's no audience there, so you can't really get that feedback. And then when you're trying to convey to the engineer, well, this is what I want my drums to sound like, or this is where I want my vocals in the mix, you got to have the right person, or it just doesn't come out.
Facts. And speaking of like getting that right sound as a producer, like getting that live, impactful feeling, it's prompted me to work with more live musicians. Like I'll write it out, but it's just better. Like, I mean, I produce a bulk of my work, but I don't play any string instruments or horns. So just bringing in those players makes that process a lot easier before the mixing engineer process. So,
And the right players go a long way.
whew, yeah.
We know there's like,
Fact.
in every city. I mean, on drums, I can probably name about 20 guys, but people that will behave in the studio, that can just pick up, they hear two notes or a couple bars and they immediately know what to do. That's a rare bird to find.
Very much so.
Well, that's kind of how we benefit in this town in a lot of degrees, because we have such a varying degree of artistry here. You can kind of find somebody for anything.
Absolutely, I agree.
So your music is essentially pop music. That's how you would define it, correct?
Yeah, I think pop gives me a little bit more freedom. One of my favorite pop artists actually is the Spice Girls, because you can listen to their album and every song is different, but it's pop. Like they got some smooth R&B, some kind of more techno. Well, not techno, maybe like disco. Like I don't know if you remember the Spice World album.
Oh, I saw the
Pretty
movie.
amazing. I love that movie. I watched that movie so many times. But so yeah, I choose pop because it just gives me more freedom to do what I do. But I think how I present my vocal or my performance, it's very crossover pop. So I think I have the pop energy, but I let the track kind of create the vibe.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I was going to say, I hear hints of R&B and then synth pop, electro pop, all these little elements. I guess that helps, like when you want to play other places outside of Houston or when you tour or whatever.
And mold to different crowds. I can hang with this group, I can hang with this group, and I'm able to kind of accommodate my set accordingly.
Every successful artist I've ever met says the bigger net you cast, the more people you'll bring in. So I was in France and I met a woman who was at a concert, and she said, "Oh, I'm an artist." And I said, "Oh, really? You sing in French?" She's like, "Oh, no, I sing in Spanish." And I said, "Why?" She said, "There's more Spanish speakers in the world than anywhere else, any other language. So I want to reach the most people. That's what I do." And I was like, "That's brilliant. You're
That's
like the
a
smartest
goal
person
of
I ever
mine.
met."
That's a goal of mine. If anything, I want to have my songs translated in Spanish, and I could hang in Japanese too. Like my pronunciation in either language is pretty well. I just need a songwriter. But in a perfect world, the goal of mine is to travel the world, obviously, sharing my music. But I would love to be able to sing in other cultures because, at least for me growing up, I've always been very cultured. I love learning about different languages, different countries, different types of people. And I think that kind of obviously influences my music. But
Sure.
I just love meeting people and, breaking bread, trying different foods. I love hanging with the natives when I travel.
Absolutely.
So,
That's the best.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so cool. And people are so beautiful around the world. And, you just got to kind of tune the media out and go experience it for yourself. And you'd be surprised how
Absolutely.
beautiful people are.
Like a thing I always tell people about Japan is like, well, it's cool to go to McDonald's and see what McDonald's in Japan is like.
That's
Or like 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven has great food in
Dude.
Japan.
Yes, 7-Eleven has the best corn dogs I've ever had, and
Really?
Sorry, black people. It has like some of the best fried chicken I've ever had too. I was very
Whoa.
surprised. It's a gas station, but their fried chicken is on point.
It's a trip. There's a band.
7-Eleven in Japan.
There's a band from Houston called Football Etc. And they said when they were in Japan, they ate at 7-Eleven every day.
That's all you need.
And they're like, "You've been there, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, Did you ever have those pancakes with butter and syrup already cooked into them?" I was like,
Whoa.
"No." I wasn't on to the 7-Eleven thing till after I came back, and all these people asked if I went to 7-Eleven. I was like, "No,
Yeah.
should I have?"
You should have. You should have.
But what I was getting to with that, bringing that up was, what I found is every region of Japan's not big. It's a small place, but every region has something that they specialize in. So when you go to that region and they're like, "Well, we're the noodle people," you're like,
Oh, yeah.
"Noodle me up." Or if they do some kind of wonton noodle or something like that. Or there's a
I think
place
there's
over there
a
that
food
does like a
called
meatball.
okonomiyaki, I think. It's kind of like, it's delicious though, but I know Osaka is actually known for their food. But you're 100% right. You're actually making me hungry. Japan's food's amazing.
It's great, yeah.
Oh, the sushi's like melts in your mouth there. Well, the noodles there are insane.
And learning etiquette with how you order sushi and tipping the right people and everything. It's when you do that there as an American, they want to know, like, how did you know this before you came here? I don't always like YouTube. I just learn what I'm supposed to learn. I don't want to be an idiot in your country.
Dude, YouTube University is creating
real.
more.
It's real. I mean, I know
More
guys,
successful people than anything.
I know producers that will tell me like, "Oh yeah, I learned this on there," and it's like, I get it, man. If it's good information, you might as well use it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you've performed outside the U.S. You performed in South Africa and on Japanese television and all around the U.S. Do you find that audiences are essentially the same wherever you perform?
Definitely not. Not even in the States. Every audience is completely different sometimes. Certain regions, in the South, we like to, drop it down,
Yeah.
we like to, I think in the South, we just like to have a good ass time. But yeah, different crowds, it's just completely different demeanors depending on where you are. Obviously, the Japanese are a little bit more reserved.
Right.
It's interesting because, a lot of my music career, I was a dueling pianist for 10 years, which supports my career. And everything we do is about crowd interaction, interact, participate, rah.
Right.
And it's like I'm giving that energy, and in Japan, they're just like, oh,
Yeah.
and that's like it. And I'm like, are they having a good time? And, they're like, sugoi, but like, I
It's
don't know.
mega chill there. There's these female groups. They're kind of like teeny boppy type stuff. And the boys that go to and men, they wait after the show and they buy Polaroids from them and they sign it. And they're mega fans. They wait forever for them to perform. But then when the show, like when a song is done, they don't go crazy. They just
They don't
real
clap.
quietly.
They don't.
Yeah, you're like, okay, like,
All right, well,
Yeah.
you paid to be here. Try to have a good time.
Yeah.
No, but they have a great time, and interestingly enough, like the Japanese are very reserved, but I believe that they are absolutely the most supportive crowd. Like you can go tour, and they may not clap or anything, but you will sell out your merch. You will get followers.
It's true.
You will sign shirts. You will, So
Right
sometimes-
now, emo music from the 90s is huge.
Oh.
And they'll name stores after people
yeah,
that were in emo bands in the 90s. It's crazy,
interesting.
and they're like super into that culture, and that's great, But, and those crowds are a little more rowdy. But you're right, everything I saw was very reserved, very quiet. But everyone is so nice, and you're right about selling out merch. And every city is different, and it's not genre-based either. It's every city
It's just mood.
has its own vibe.
Yeah, 100%.
There's some things that don't change. There's cities that used to be terrible 20 years ago, and they're still terrible today, but we don't need to name those. But your latest single, I Don't Mind, has an elevated sound. It's like the songwriting is very diverse. It's filled with R&B touches. Do you find that you're constantly changing how you approach your songwriting and what sounds you employ, or you just kind of go with
Yes.
the vibe?
Both. I definitely go with the vibe because I've learned when I think too hard about it, it puts a pressure and a stress on me, which kind of diminishes my creative state. But, I'm always changing things because, when you're a real musician and a real producer, you don't just produce one genre. You want to do it all,
Right.
So, yeah, and sometimes I go back and forth and, listening to the industry and the media, sometimes it can be difficult. Like mainstream is this formula, and I think I kind of operate outside of it because, I've got R&B songs, I've got very dancey songs, like you say, synth pop, but I don't know. I think the way I deliver it, as long as you can tell it's Sugar Joiko, then I'm just going to stand in my own right and create what I want. And if the people dig it, then I feel like I've done my job.
Yeah, it's real on the outside stuff. I've heard for years, what's a singles-driven market? It's like it is, but you got to put out something, an EP or a record.
A project,
I
yeah.
get people thinking you're throwing away songs, but I always tell people, why don't you just put out every song on it as a single and then sell it as a full length,
Working on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%.
That's what I was going to ask. Is that what's next, or like a full length album?
It is. I'm actually sitting on 3 singles mixed and mastered, ready to go now. The market is sort of kind of opening. This is my actual first original show gig since COVID. I think since my last Axelrad show with Wonky Power.
Yeah.
So I just ain't got the moolah yet because, it takes marketing. If you
Sure.
don't market it, it's like the lifeline of your track won't really see much light of day. So I'm pretty much, collecting my pennies. And when I'm ready to present to the world, I want to, publish this. I want to do it right.
Right. I will say that if you want to publish this right now, they're all cheaper because they realize,
I'm
well,
looking.
they can't tour. So what kind of horrible person am I going to be when I want $3,000 a month,
Oh, God.
when
yeah.
nobody can earn income?
Well, I'm in
So-
search of one. So if there's a publicist watching, entertainment specifically, I've worked with publicists that aren't entertainment. I need somebody that knows the industry, but I am in the market looking for one.
I can recommend somebody if you like.
I'd love that.
I work with a lot of the same people because you forge these relationships, because that's what music and anything is. It's relationships. That's
Well, you
it.
know.
You got to put in your time and you got to get out on the road, but it all comes down to who you've been cool with. You say you're going to do something, you do it. They come through on their end. You got to come through on your end. And
Facts.
the people that I like the most are the people that I can say, never send me something with this headline again, because I think that's horrible. I don't want somebody trying to sell me music based on sexual identity or race,
Thank you for that.
Just straight up tell me, hey, this is what it sounds like. It's fire. You got to check it out. Don't send me any of this outside stuff. And
I'm glad you brought up the sex part, because as a woman in pop, it's very pressuring. And, I actually brought heels with me today, and I was like, screw it. I'm going to keep on my flat boots because I'm a musician. I like to bounce around. I like to grab different things, and I want to have a good time. But it's unfortunate that, well, I'm no longer giving a crap, so I don't care anymore. But the industry it's very, very, demanding when it comes to the presentation of a woman.
absolutely. Appearance oriented.
Very much so, which is kind of annoying. But I think we're breaking that. I think today's society, where people love the I don't give a F
Right.
vibe now, which I'm very glad for. So at least the generation of artists after me, I think, will live a much happier music career than probably some people before us.
For sure. I know Mexo Cream telling me early on, you got to check out this girl, Megan Thee Stallion. He's like, she's going to be big. And I was like, yeah, man, you were way off. She got mega.
Yeah.
I mean, and Lizzo as well. They don't look like what the industry prefers a woman to look like. They kind of set their own path. And I mean, Lizzo, I remember we were talking about this last night, catching Lizzo at Summerfest in the early 2010s, and
She's
she's-
such a good person. I love her interviews. She's down to earth.
her Letterman interview is just amazing.
I've seen that one.
And I appreciate anybody that comes back to where they're from and they give back. She's done that. Bay's done that. Solange has done that. Where they're just all about where they're from. They don't forget that.
It's important.
Coming back and doing stuff with U of H on Lizzo's side is amazing. I mean,
I heard.
so it's definitely beautiful when that happens. But it also, to me, I like it because it humanizes. Because even when you do when I do interviews with people, I don't know who they are. You don't. You set rules and parameters. A lot of people don't know this, but you set rules going into it. I'm always like, I don't have a gotcha moment. This ain't going to be about personal life stuff. This is about the music or the performance. That's it. I don't care about their personal life. I just want to keep it about the music. But you set goal. They're handlers, whether it be PR or label or whoever, kind of sets parameters. Well, this is what we want to talk about, and so that's kind of where you stay. But you can't really get a lot from a person because, they have their public image and they have their private image. But when somebody comes back home and they don't have flash bulbs going off and they're just like on the local news, you know, a lot of people don't understand getting on the local news is a bigger deal than getting in a national publication because you might have been seeking that local acceptance your whole life.
Very true.
And to get on the national level, it's not somebody you know. Like, you can send it to your friends. Like, I mean, people share our stuff on Twitter and Instagram, and it's great. It's awesome. But I think how wonderful was it when they got their local town paper to talk about them?
Yeah, it's a goal.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. It's tough getting press in this town and anywhere because I always feel like the pen writers or the pen holders aren't paying enough attention, you know?
I agree so much. I think because of that, the entertainment industry in Houston is almost... I'm not trying to get blacklisted, but I feel like the entertainment industry, because of those pen writers, I think it's very, I don't want to say outdated, but lazy in a sense.
I agree.
They're comfortable with what works, and they're too lazy to give an ear to other things. Like, I feel like if you're going to be a pen writer, it's about exposing, you know, people to,
everything.
yeah, exactly. But they just kind of stick to what works and, you know, keep a rotation. And
I told somebody at a local paper here I worked for years ago, they're like, well, this isn't really hip. And I'm like, we have Houston in the name of our paper. If we don't talk about everything, how fake are we?
Right.
You know? Like, that's cool. Okay, these guys are from Katy, but they're getting ready to pop off. Or these guys are from Galveston. They had an album chart already, you know? And it's... I agree with you on the laziness side of it. There's some great writers in town, people that we've utilized when we did the Week of Benefit shows. We used Johnston Farrow at Culture Map, and he's an amazing writer. I've known Johnston a while, but just a wonderful guy. And there's some people at Houston Press, Gladys Fuentes, and then at the Chronicle, Andrew Dansby and Joey Guerra. Like, there are great writers, and they do care. But I will say that it is tough because you're in a world where people expect you to get clicks. And I would always tell people that I work for, well, this will work. That's cool. You want me to do this, but nobody cares about that artist anymore.
Exactly.
They care about this.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you bring me in to bring a younger audience in, I know how to get them. We just got to give them what they listen to.
Exactly. Which
So-
is why the gatekeepers in Houston being lazy, I think they're missing out. Everybody's moving to Houston from so many states.
It's true.
There's so many people that listen to so many other things than what, you know, is H-Town
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, and you're completely alienating a huge chunk of people that live here. So
Yeah, I would tell
glad you-
people, they would say like, oh, how do you know that guy? And I'm like, oh, he's the Weeknd's guitarist. And they're like, he lives here? I'm like, yeah, so is George Clinton's main songwriter? Like, yeah. There's a lot of power here. You just got to get out. Got to get outside your comfort zone. Go to a place you're maybe a little scared in the parking lot, and you just go in. I mean,
That
trust
is
me, there's
true.
places I've been with, like producers. Trying to think of somebody off the top of my head. The Mad Wicked from New Orleans, a perfect example. He's played some places I'm a little scared to go in, and I'm like, I'll go in, and you meet all these amazing artists, and you know, the Flat. You know, like Son
like
has
The
brought
Flat.
in King Britt and so many just amazing DJs, and you're like, this guy was the DJ for Tribe Called Quest, and we're in the same room, and
Oh, wow.
nobody's here. Like, whatever it is,
and
like,
it probably goes over everybody's head that's
Yeah.
in the room too.
but it's cool because it's that thing where it's like, you know, you get that intimacy. You know, I mean, as much as we want this city to be packed, shows packed, things sell out, artists want to come back. There is this beautiful part of it that when it's not packed, you get something a little bit different. I've seen artists come out and be like, well, I thought there'd be more people here. What do y'all want to hear? And just play what anybody wants them to play.
Yeah, you can focus more time on them.
For
you know,
sure.
Which is,
But all that aside, you ready to hop in a little more?
yeah.
Give us a little more?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. Thanks for
Dope.
coming.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me. Great chat. We're going to kick it off with my next song. It's called How I Roll. This song was, the music video for it, if you guys end up checking it out. So I love cars. Another reason why I went to Japan, because when Fast and the Furious came out, the drifting and stuff, I was just like, so my boy Angel hooked it up. And I think we got like, 30, 40 something, like souped up cars in the video. Like, I was just like a kid in like Toys R Us because there's just so many amazing car clubs here in Houston, and they came out for the music video. So if you happen to hear it, How I Roll, it's really fun, and it's one of my favorite songs. So let's get the show back going. you got me. Everything's gonna be alright. Lose yourself just for one night. Come along with me and I will show. Hey, I know you like your cocky. Hey, don't worry, I will treat you right. I want you to be mine, mine. Hey, say, roll up on me, try to control me. Ooh, I like your style. Better get that shawty, she likes to party. Ooh, you drive me wild. Tell your boys come roll deep. No, no, we don't sleep. We can take this now. Better ask somebody, tell them that's how I roll. Hey, ooh, ooh, I like your style. Hey, ooh, you drive me wild. Hey, no, no, we don't sleep. We can take this now. Better ask somebody, tell them that's how I roll. Hey. This next song is called Want Me. My body calls for you every morning, every day and night. I'm not myself with you. I do anything to make you mine. You know it kills me. I wouldn't be here if you said to me you wasn't for it all. You just needed love 'cause you was lonely. You don't want me. I thought that I knew. I thought if you held me, loved me down, there must be feelings from you. But you don't want me. I can see through your lies. You just tease me, leave me in my loving aside. Ooh, my body calls for you. Man, I can't get you off my mind. Tell me what I have to do. I do anything to make you mine. The part that hurts me, you've got a girl, but you were made for me. You wasn't for it all. Oh, you took my love 'cause I was lonely. You don't want me. I thought that I knew. I thought if you held me, loved me down, there must be feelings from you. But you don't want me. I can see through your eyes. You just tease me, leave me in my loving aside. Ooh. Damn. Same shit. You see, I thought that you really liked me. But I guess I was wrong. I'd rather be on my own right now. All to myself in my home right now. Cell phone airplane mode right now. Head in the clouds in my zone right now. Singing out of key with Patrol right now. My love songs out of tune right I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe it was just a matter of time that I could call you mine. That sugar did you right. I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe it was just a matter of time that I could call you mine. That sugar did you right. Tell me how I'm supposed to feel when I'm sitting here knowing this ain't real. Why in the world would I give my heart to you just to watch you throw it in the trash? I've been traveling so long, I don't think I can hold on. Where were you when I needed you the most? Now I'm sitting here with a black hole in my chest. A heart this broken mess. Some of y'all might recognize that song. This is my latest single. It's called I Don't Mind. dedicated to Travis and Luke. I love you guys so much. I knew that you were for me, darling. Never feel my love for you is holy. I'm not perfect, but I know I'd risk it all for you, 'cause I know what you deserve. When you're going through trouble, you can count on me. If you're feeling insecure, baby, I will help you see that my love is yours. My faith is pure. There's nothing about you I don't adore. 'Cause baby, when you need a soldier, I'll fight till we get older. When you get angry at me, you're scared of falling too deep. I will be a shield. There is nothing we can heal. I love the way you are. Your drive and passion makes you perfect. What you do to me lets me know that you deserve it. When you go out your way, low-key, I think it's kinda sexy. Everything about you makes me wanna be the best me. Feel like I'm complete, don't you know you make me whole? 'Cause I'm sure your love is pure. There's nothing about you I don't adore. 'Cause baby, when you need a soldier, I'll fight till we get older. If you get angry at me, you're scared of falling too deep. If you don't wanna stay, I will love you anyway. 'Cause it doesn't matter. I knew when we met, you were the one. You're my person, and I'm yours. 'Cause baby, when you need a soldier, I'll fight till we get older. When you get angry at me, I'm not scared. You don't wanna stay, I will love I'm goofy, guys. I'm very goofy. Y'all, we got one more song. Holy crap. I hope everybody's enjoying the show. Thank you, Wonky Power, for having me. I love you guys, and your studio's incredible. I feel at home. It is a vibe, and you guys did a stellar job, so thank you for this. This is amazing. For everyone tuning in at home, thank you so much for coming out. Say something in the say something in the comments area if you're enjoying the show. Let us know how you feel. Of course, I appreciate it. Wonky Power appreciates it too. I can't see your comments if you're already commenting, but if you haven't, just say something. Just let us know that you're here and that you're having a good time. My last song is a fan favorite. It's called Freak Bitch. And we're closing it out. So hope you guys enjoyed the show, and thank you for having me. Sugar Joiko logging out. Boom. Drums. guys for having me. My name is Sugar Joiko, Sugarjoiko. You can find me on all social media platforms from YouTube to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. There's so many. Just look it up. Shout out to Angel. He's been kicking ass all night. Incredible. He's amazing. Shout out to Wonky Power. Shout out to Mario.
That was incredible. Thanks.
Go,
Love it.
Mario.
That's nice. Thank you so much, Joy.
Sorry.
Oh, I love that.
Don't get me started, please.
Let's keep going.
You know how you pause the game?
Yeah.
Wait, this is pause.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, dude! Yes, we're getting it right now. Absolutely.
It's paused.
I love it. Oh my God, that was
Coins.
incredible.
Getting those Nintendo sounds.
Yeah, the Nintendo sound.
I played too many games in my day.
What's your favorite Nintendo game, if you had to choose one? Or Mario game, actually.
Oh, Mario 3.
Mario 3?
I need to learn.
Oh yeah,
I love that song.
That
That
is
is a-
incredible.
that is the best one. It's so weird too. How you can pick up things and throw them, and you
I
can
like
fly.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh yeah, with the tail.
raccoon tail,
The raccoon
yeah.
tail.
and then you
That's
can
right.
find that little flute, and it'll take you to a different world. Yeah.
The raccoon tail though, but raccoons don't fly.
they don't.
That's a good
I
one.
don't know.
I will tell you that I have a friend that works in video games, and he told me that Nintendo, whenever you hear anything that sounds like a symphony, it's because they hired a symphony to come make that music. They take it very seriously.
I know they do. I'm telling you, that's how I got into production, because when I would listen to the soundtracks, at least for me, it at least tickled my ears.
Yeah. Yeah, like Link and all that stuff. When they brought in symphonies, they brought in a symphony.
Brought in the real deal. So my favorite game is actually Final Fantasy, and Final Fantasy has the best soundtracks.
It does.
Oh God, if you've heard the Final Fantasy X piano collections,
I haven't. I know it exists out there, but I haven't heard
it's
it.
Really? I didn't know
incredible. Just pull it up on YouTube.
that. Okay.
Clean your house on a Sunday morning.
Yeah?
And just let that hoe ride.
Oh
It's good.
wow, that's awesome.
great.
I'm gonna
On
have to check
Final
that out.
Fantasy, it wasn't my jam because you had to read too much. And I'm like, why did I get a game where I have to read, you know?
After 10 and after, they talk.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
They talk, and the graphics are way better.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a Switch. I just haven't had a chance to, you know.
They remade Final Fantasy VII. It's actually pretty incredible. I just finished it.
There's a new Metroid coming. That should be cool.
That's really, really good.
But yeah, no, all those older games, they're the best. Like, because there's so much love put into them. Like just the craft of the music and how everything plays out. And like, yeah, just like little sounds for little things. You watch like all these shooting games and stuff. The graphics are great, but
The
you
music
know,
is lacking.
What I despise, I love that the graphics are amazing, but I think that we probably are there. They're just trying to make their money, but you know, a lot of first shooter games are no longer split screen.
right?
And
right.
I also grew up on Halo, and Halo was such
Yes.
like the party jam. Like bring your
Right.
friends, we'd bring our own Xbox controllers.
LAN parties.
Exactly. And then when I think it was Halo 5, I was so excited, and then I found out it's not
Yeah, multiplayer. that way.
at all. Right now, Apex is my jam. So
Oh, okay. Yeah,
anybody
some
plays
people around
Apex.
here love Apex, right,
Level
Luis?
500 Predator.
Y'all
come for me.
are in a different world than me. I'm online playing Rocket League with guys in Russia and stuff.
Rocket League
That's
is
a good one too,
fun.
though.
Rocket League is
Yeah.
great, like a great party game, actually. I
There's a
love
cat
that
here
game.
in town named John Baldwin. He used to book Walters, and he. I was at his house late one night. He's like, "You want to play Rocket League?" I was like, "What's Rocket League?" And he started playing it. And I was like,
I'm
"This is a little
glad you
kids
asked.
game," and I'm just like, "It's a kids game. Like, who wants to play this?" And then went home and immediately like set up my PlayStation Online account. First game I get Rocket League. So
Nice.
yeah,
It's multiplayer, not multiplayer, multi-platform now, right?
right.
So,
That's
I
really
love
cool.
that.
But yeah, I don't know. I've always been about fun stuff, like trying to do a quest. It's like if I can get into it, cool. But
RPGs.
yeah,
I dig it, man.
So
I miss
Super Mario
Spyro.
3 is your favorite one, right? You said that.
Definitely,
Okay, cool,
yeah.
cool. But yeah, we got a lot of comments of everybody loving the music, nice 80s twist to Thundercat.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, people
I
say
produced
that.
it
Yeah.
myself.
it's a good league to be in with Mr. Bruner.
Oh, man, that would be incredible. I hope he sees it one day.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, people are just saying that it's an incredible performance. Everybody's
Oh.
been loving it. Yeah.
Thank you.
No questions from the audience, though, from the chat. Just
No
everybody
worries.
giving praise and love and a lot of hundreds and a lot of fire
Hey.
emojis. You know,
Dope. I love Fuego.
Yeah.
Fuego.
a lot of people tuning in. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and thank
Thank
you, Sugar
you.
Joiko, for joining us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. I'm about to get some drinks, eat some tacos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're bomb.
Yeah, everybody, Tacos al Carnal are here every time that we do these live sessions. So if you want to swing by, get some food,
Good
they're
to
incredible.
know.
Yes.
The pastor is amazing.
I'm about
Yeah.
to try it.
Very, very good. Juicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I can always tell when like somebody knows what they're doing when the meats I like, pastor or barbacoa, they are not dry. They're not rubbery, you know.
Rubbery,
That's like
yeah.
very soft and tender, and the seasoning's right. And you get that.
You're
get that
making me
seasoning
hungry.
and-
I know. I've been,
Everybody.
I've been
so
hungry since I've been
you
here,
got
and I'm
Oh, I'm sorry.
not that I want to rush my show at all, but I'm actually dying to go.
Go get some food.
Yeah.
Now, I know people, and myself included, you're like, okay, I got to get off stage because I got to hit the bathroom. And
Oh,
it's-
I got to do that too.
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you don't want to have one of those. I guess Fergie had
A Fergie moment.
Yeah, Fergie moment. I don't know if that's what that was, but
She's
that's
got
what it
2
looked
strikes. She had the PP moment and the national anthem.
That national anthem was horrible. I'm sorry.
Bruh. Bruh,
was
that one
really
and
bad.
what was his name? Was it Carl Tom? Whoa.
like. I don't want anybody to think I'm a hater, but I liked Black Eyed Peas before she got in it.
Yeah, I actually recently found out the original group. There was another lady that was singing who's really dope. And, they changed. I mean, I'm so happy for Black Eyed Peas, especially their international stuff that they're doing.
Absolutely, and the success, yeah.
Will I Am with Sergio Mendes, that whole album is amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's kind of that thing, right, where you wonder what's going on when, like, I remember seeing the Roots with the Beastie Boys at the Summit. It was called Compact Center, and now it's a church, but
Yeah.
oh, that's Lakewood Church?
That's like
Yeah.
the church. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Beastie Boys, the Roots, and John Spencer Blues Explosion. And the Roots opened. And, like, when they showed up on TV, I was like, well, good for them, you know, because
Amen.
how long you got to grind before you have success? And there's tons of artists like that, TV on the radio. Thundercat. Thundercat has been around a minute, you know. And then it wasn't until he, like, put Kenny Loggins on a song where the world was like, oh, my God. But I was telling people for years, like, nah, man, go get the whole Ninja Tune catalog, but especially Thundercat. You know, I mean, his work with Fly Low is on another level.
Ah, man. Yeah, I can just let him run all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, what I like about Thundercat the most is there's a sense of humor. Like he's got that Dragon Ball Do-Rag song, and the video is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, Dragon Ball.
You know,
that's
and-
nostalgia too.
Yeah, when you openly admit I'm about this do-rag and it's Dragon Ball, you are like opening yourself up to a whole different can of worms, and like you're trying to have this career and be cool and be slick, and you're like, I like Dragon Ball, I like anime, you know?
Do-rags.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just
Do-rags and ramen.
yeah. But whatever. I mean, he comes from a long line of just players. His father's an
Oh, I can
amazing
tell.
artist, and you know, he introduced us all to Kamasi Washington, who is
Oh, wow.
epic, and they know each other from being kids. So, you know, it's just all like that whole scene is amazing.
I dig it. I'd love to jam with them. That would be pretty exceptional.
Well, that stuff ain't hard. I mean, they're tied to Houston.
Oh.
Fly Low and Thundercat's first tour was with Shaper Broad Minds, which is Gennaro Jarrell and Jawad Taylor.
I did not. I know those names, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, Gennaro,
That's
I think, is in the Caribbean now, and Jawad lives in Tennessee, I think. It was a place where I was kind of worried about him moving to. I'm like, yo, man, have you looked it up? It's not the most open-minded place, but, you know. But, yeah, I mean, he and his wife are
Big
doing
fish
good
in a
there.
small
So,
pond, maybe?
yeah, Jawad is the only guy I've ever met where he's like, oh, I got to go. Most Def is calling, and it's really Most Def calling him, you know.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's legit.
But it's a small world, so
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, I just want to again say everybody that's watching, thank y'all for tuning in to the Wonky Power Live sessions. Just want to again thank Sugar Joiko for being here. I was gonna say for having us. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you so much. That was an incredible performance. Just want to say
Thank
thank you,
you.
and I'm gonna let David give the ending remarks. But yeah, again from everybody here, we loved you, and it was incredible. Thank you.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you can
the-
watch this later tonight. It's already gonna be up. So
I'm excited.
yeah,
I can't wait to see
for sure.
So a couple more questions. I know you've been going at music independently. Do you kind of find that being on your own gives you more control over your artistry, or do you kind of envy somebody that's on a label, because I know people on label and they get told to do stuff and work with this producer, work with that producer. And when you're independent, you don't have to deal with that.
You don't. I mean, the only thing about being independent is that you're working probably 5 times harder because
Right.
everything is sitting on you. If you don't play, if you don't write, if you don't sing, nothing moves.
Right.
But I would totally prefer independency than being owned by a label. Like, if I ever were to get picked up by a label, I would hope to be in a position to negotiate terms as much as possible, because nowadays it's just pretty cutthroat. So I'm happy riding solo dolo until the next, like I say, I need a publicist. I think from there, then I can kind of
Yeah.
elevate my career a little bit more. But
It's that thing where I respect anybody that gives out great knowledge. So I interviewed Julian Casablancas from The Strokes. I followed that up with a Katie Tunstall interview, and people were like, why didn't you follow it up with somebody a little more current? And I'm like, she spoke at Red Bull, and she said the most amazing thing that I thought everyone needs to know, which is the label is not your friend, they're your equity partner. You need to audit them every year and figure out where your money, where your royalty money goes, where your publishing goes. Figure out how to get your hands on that stuff. And when you're independent, you don't have to deal with any of that stuff. It's too many cooks in the kitchen a lot of times,
very much so.
It's that thing where when you make a CD, it costs you like $1.50. Label finds a way for it for if you need CDs, you got to buy them from them, and they're like $6 each.
Which is ridiculous because you are their product. So
Yeah.
it's like it's sad that they're making money from you,
Right.
and the consumer. It's.
Yeah, people don't understand about publishing. Like nowadays, they're 50-50 deals. Like they take 50% right off the top, and you can't revert it. It always is that way. And publishing is the only way you can make money, off your
true.
music without performing or anything. You do one sync licensing deal, and that 50% goes a long way.
That's what I'm looking into. I'd love to get into sync and film, but
It's not that hard. I can have you talk to some people. I mean, I always thought it was hard too, but the guys I know that are doing it are getting placement everywhere. So,
wow.
it's just that thing where it just takes that. Again, it's a connection thing. So, so you play multiple instruments. You have a killer voice. You're a producer. You can play. You can bring it live. What advice would you give to a younger artist who's trying to get into music? Maybe something you've learned over time, or
Yes. I believe, and this helped me a lot, that when you make something that comes from the heart, sounds good, feels good, it's timeless. Don't rush. Be patient with yourself, and just let it flow from God.
that's true. Yeah.
Do your research. A lot of people don't realize that the music game, you need to be studying and researching everything all the time. So it's not something that you just play and throw yourself out there. You need to know who you're talking to, what's next. You need to. It's it's a full-time job. It's
Yeah.
a business. So I'd say just keep educating yourself, be patient with yourself, and trust yourself. And
Yeah.
when you get there, then I think that's where the fun really kicks off. And from experience, when I didn't do those things, I was always second-guessing myself, rushing projects, and trying to mold myself into what's out in the industry. And one thing I learned that's a fact, I studied audio engineering, and they're like, if you're trying to sound like tracks today, you're too late.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
That's true.
Be the first you.
Yeah, I always try to tell people, if you know about it, it ain't hot anymore.
Yep.
The whole record industry is people in their 60s trying to figure out what people in their 20s like. And that's why they sign 300 bands and hope one of them hits, because they have no idea what the next thing is going to be. And you're right, you stay true to yourself. You don't have anybody to upset.
I say trust the people too.
That's fair,
labels,
yeah.
Labels say everything, but what I get from the audience and people that watch my show, that's what's important.
Yes.
And I think the people will never lie. The people want good music.
That's true.
They're just limited what the industry will give them. But
That's
I
true.
think if people knew that there was so much incredible music, the world would be a better place.
You incorporate a lot of different styles. Earlier we heard some kind of like cumbia stuff, and the song you said was inspired by Houston. I mean, is that what you just kind of find something you like? You're like, how can I incorporate this and work around it?
I low-key have an addiction to kind of like infusing things. Like I will take my song "How I Roll," very Bollywood.
Right. Yeah.
But but it's a very kind of very pop, trancey, thick synths, but I'm singing "Sing me windin', sing me grindin'," but I'm like
Yeah.
going Caribbean. So I love like infusing genres, and if you make it work, I think it's always it just kind of tickles the ear in a really good way. And as long as it's a good beat, I love to dance. So as
Yeah.
long as it makes you feel good and makes your body move, I feel like I'm doing my job.
Yeah, if you had your own flavor to it, it don't matter where the original note came from.
Very true.
As long as it's not like a lift, and I'm not saying you lift, but
Oh yeah.
we were talking about this the other night. There's just so much lifting in music. People just steal your stuff, and don't credit the right people. It's true what you say about knowing who you're talking to. When we were setting up Benefit Week, one of the management people I was talking to, I kept thinking, I know this name, and I realized he had used a different, like his name was like Tim or something like that, but he used like a name like Timmy back when he was in bands, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy was in all these bands I loved.
Wow.
It's just like, he's like going by a more professional version of his name. But yeah, it's definitely treating everybody right. You never know who you're sitting next to. Some of the best jobs I ever got was because I was nice to somebody that, I didn't know who they were, but you be nice to everybody and it all works out.
Amen.
When you're saying that about like putting in work, it's true. It's two people from Houston, one who's had a ton of success and performed last night, Justin Furstenfeld from Blue October, and Chase Hamlin, both told me in different times, if you want this to be your job, you got to treat it like it's your job.
Clock yourself in.
Yeah. I mean, do you find that that's the hardest part about working with like some artists is like it feels like they're not taking it as seriously as you are?
Absolutely. Like I'm working with a lot more artists now, but that's one of the reasons why I've been hesitant, because there's, at least for me, there's no bigger slap in the face than putting your heart and tears into a project and an artist doesn't give that same effort.
Right.
Or, kind of putting yourself out on the line and they don't even like, they post it one time and that's it. They don't promote it. And even though it's like our shared project together, they're just sitting on your skirt tail, like waiting for you to pop off for them to benefit.
Right.
So it's very hard to find other hardworking, career grabbing individuals in the music industry.
It's real. It's like I wrote about Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth and he quoted me, which was a trip.
Ooh.
But then I wrote about some band nobody knew about, nobody cared about, and they didn't even retweet it. And you're like, really? Like that's how this world works. But that's how it is. You just roll with it. Like I'm going to over promote everything I do, and cram it down people's throat till they hate me for it. But like it can't be that thing where you're worried about how people are going to react.
Isn't there like a magic rule of marketing? If people hear it so many times, then it's in there. 3 to
30 to recognize it, 6 to 60 to accept it, 9 to 90 to like embrace it, So
Good to know.
it's this thing where, because I come from an advertising background and it is very much about getting word out and just really pounding it into people's heads, It blows me away when somebody's like, oh yeah, I put out a record on Friday. And it's like, okay, well, except for the alert I got from Bandcamp, I didn't even know that existed.
People still using Bandcamp?
Yeah. Well, Bandcamp now has come a long way because they have this thing called Bandcamp Fridays where they don't take a cut. It's once every month. You put your record out on there. Whatever you sell on that Friday, you get 100% of it, especially if you're independent.
Interesting. I like that. I'm going to check that out.
I would say Bandcamp is my favorite because it's so artist-oriented and it's like direct to fans. It's not like, not to talk smack, but it's not like some of the streaming services where, the artist is getting like a tenth of a penny.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, actually.
We were just talking about this earlier. Like I've told somebody I use Tidal because I feel like if I say you should make sure artists get paid, I should use the best streaming service for artists getting paid, and that's Tidal.
Facts.
It's cool that, well, now I guess they're going to be owned by Square, but that Jay-Z and all these artists put it together. But it's definitely
the artist by the artist.
I try to, practice what I preach. So, yeah, it is strange when somebody's not giving 100%, especially when you know what it took for you to do your part, So, any chance we're going to hear anything from the upcoming record, or?
Let me see if I even.
If not, it's totally cool.
I think she was like at her last song.
Yeah, I'm done for the day, but I don't know. I may have something on here.
Well, I get it. During COVID, it's hard to have like rehearsal time and everything. Like,
very, very true.
I'm shocked bands can even show up here and do this because, don't worry about it. We don't have to do it tonight. it was great already.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, it's like I said, I'm pretty much just sitting on it until I'm ready. I want to shoot a music video. I kind of want to have, really, it's visuals. I'm waiting on visuals. It's the girl stuff.
Yeah.
You need a music video. You need a photo shoot. You need, so.
those are all things that are important for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you coming. If
Appreciate you guys.
you're watching this on YouTube at home, feel free to like and subscribe. That helps us out a ton. Also, if you want to hire Wonky Power to do something like this for your band or for a baby announcement or a wedding shower,
Yeah.
but in these times you can't get to everybody, go to wonkypower.com, go to the About section. They'll tell you about everything they do. You can reach out to them. They can hook you up with rates and whatnot. And if you want something like this done for your band, they're mobile. If you need to record, you can come to this space and record. You have talented engineers on hand, all pro audio gear. Everything here is great. But we appreciate you coming out. It sounded amazing.
Awesome. Thanks to you guys.
Thanks so much.
That's how incredible y'all's gear is. You guys have us sounding amazing. So.
They do all the work. I'm just the guy that asks the questions. So I would say, you said you needed a Latin songwriter. You should reach out to Mario. He and his wife's group Bang Bangs popped off down south. I mean,
Good to know.
yeah. So
CC.
appreciate you.
Appreciate
Thanks
you.
for coming out.
Thank you so much.